We're continuing with Basho's haiku poetry with this travel sketch. Actually, it's page 74, continuing the records of a travel-worn satchel. 74 page. I wanted to visit Tukoku at his hermitage in the village of Hobi in the province of Mikawa. I first sent for Atsujin, and we walked together 25 miles or so in the direction of the village till we put up at an inn at Yashida. Poem. Cold as it was, I felt secure sleeping together in the same room. I followed a narrow, winding path in the middle of rice fields at Yamatsu Nawari among the biting blast from the sea. In the sun, poem, in the sun of a cold winter day, my shadow had frozen stiff on horseback. The promontory of Urago was about a mile from the village of Hobi. One could reach it by land from the province of Mikawa. But from the province of Ise, one had to cross the ocean, and yet it was somehow included among the sights of Ise by a poet of Manyo Shu. I picked some pebbles on the beach, the so-called white stones of Arago used for the games of Go. White Mount Honeyama behind was famous for hawks. For this southern promontory was one of the places where the hawks came very early each year, just as I was trying to recall ancient poems on the hawk. By a singular stroke of luck, I saw a solitary hawk circling above the promontory of Arago. That's a poem. It says,
yeah, I remember.
By a singular stroke of luck, I saw a solitary hawk circling above the promontory of Arago. The Atsuta shrine was under construction. Poem. Not a flaw there is on the polished surface of the divine glass, chaste with flowers of snow. I was invited to Nagoya, a city to the west of the Atsuta shrine, to have a short rest.
What page was that poem with the
What?
flowers of snow?
Flowers of snow.
What page are you reading?
75. Where's the flowers of snow? Oh, the chest with flowers of snow. Flowers of snow. Poem. Surely there must be someone crossing the pass of Hagani on this snowy morning. I was invited to a party. Poem. Stretching by force the wrinkles of my coat, I started out on a walk to a snow viewing party. Deep as the snow is, let me go as far as I can till I stumble and fall, viewing the white landscape. Those are snow poems. I was a guest poet at my friend's house. Poem. Searching for the scent of the early plum, I found it by the eaves of a proud storehouse.
Did you look at the computer?
What?
Why do you look there?
I have to look.
At your
The audience.
You have to look at yourself. You're something. Good man.
To get rid of myself, I have to see myself. Where are you? I'm going to read. During my stay in Nagoya, I composed quite a number of linked verses, long and short. with my friends who had come from Ogaki and Gifu. At Nagagya, however, several days after December the 10th, headed for my native place. Poem. Spending an idle day at an inn, I saw people dusting their houses at the end of the year. At the village of Hinaga, where it is said an ancient poet coming from Kiwana found himself almost starved to death, I hired a horse and climbed the steep slope of the Support Yourself on a Stick Pass. Interesting name. Huh?
The name of what you're supposed to do.
As I was unaccustomed to horse riding, however, I had a fall at one point, the saddle and myself overthrown by a jerk. My goodness, dear. Why didn't he go on to support yourself on a stick? Why did he ride a horse? Poem. Had I crossed the pass, supported by a stick, I would have spared myself the fall from the horse. Do you see what that happened? Or it's the name of the pass is support yourself on a stick?
That's what I said. It's called after what you.
And then he fell off a horse.
Yeah, he didn't support himself.
And the poem he wrote is, had I crossed the pass supported by a stick, I would have spared myself the fall from the horse.
They named it for a reason. You're supposed to obey.
Well, I guess he knows.
He said that you're supposed to obey nature.
I guess he learned his lesson, sort of. He learned the name of the pass, at least.
Where we go, there we support ourselves.
Are we going to the pass? They have a footnote. We check the foot. It's a matter of checking the footnotes. So we have to get the book and check the footnotes. Those who don't read the footnotes may be in trouble.
You care more about the footnotes.
Well,
it's a different thing. You can read them if you want.
We can go to the Japan Society in Japan. 47th Street, something like that. Japan. It's near the UN. Out of the depressing feeling that accompanied the fall, I wrote the above poem impromptu, but found it devoid of the seasonal word. He has to put the seasonal word in, you know. Spring, fall, autumn, winter.
Yeah, because it's about nature.
That's a custom now, the seasonal word. Coming home at last, poem, coming home at last, at the end of the year, I wept to find my old umbilical cord. Though he does mention the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's
the Chinese year. Do they have also the Chinese
Why
year?
doesn't that count as the seasonal word?
Maybe something descriptive.
Who knows? Unwilling to part with the passing year, I drank till late on the last day of December. When I awoke after a long sleep.
They also have December at the end of the year, like the rest of them.
So on the last day of December, we have to go to the support yourself on a stick pass. That's too cold, though. I awoke after a long sleep. The first day of the new year was more than half gone. On this poem, on the second, at least, I will get up early to give welcome to the floral spring. How could there be a floral spring in December?
Depends when.
Scenes of the early spring. I guess it's very early spring. Who knows? Poem, fresh spring. The world is only 9 days old. These fields and mountains. heated spring air and teeny waves of an inch or two above wintry grass. There was the ruined site of the temple built by the high priest Sunjo at the village of Awa in the province of Aiga. The name of this temple was known to have been Gohozan Shindabutsuchi, but now this long name alone was the witness of its past glory. The main hall had been completely destroyed, leaving only foundations, and the priests' living quarters had been reduced to paddies and fields. The tall statue of Buddha, originally 6 feet and 6 inches tall, had been covered with green moss, save for the divine face that shone forth as in former days. The image of the founder stood erect, but it was a pity to see it among the ruins, where sagebrush and other weeds had grown rank and on empty stone platforms and pedestals. Dead, too, were the couple of sacred sal trees that had once been the pride of the temple. Poem. Almost as high as the crumpled statue, the heated air shimmering from the stone foundation. Many things of the past are brought to my mind as I stand in the garden staring at a cherry tree. I paid a visit to the shrine at Ise Yamada. Poem. Not knowing the name of the tree, I stood in the flood of its sweet smell. It is a bit too cold to be naked in this stormy wind of February. At Bodai-san, tell me the loneliness of this poem. Tell me the loneliness of this deserted mountain. The aged farmer digging wild potatoes. Upon meeting my friend Ru Sosha, poem. Before all else, tell me the name of this rush, I said to the scholar, pointing to the young leaves. I met Setsudo, son of Ajiro Minbu. Poem. The young shoot has borne beautiful flowers, growing upon an aged plum tree. I was invited to a hermitage. Poem. Surrounded by potato fields, the gate stands, half buried by the fresh leaves of goosegrass. I wondered why there was not a single plum tree in the holy compound of the Ishi shrine. The priest, however, told me that there was no special reason, and that I could find a solitary stalk in the back of the house where the sacred virgins lived. Poem. How befitting it is for holy virgins, a solitary stalk of fragrant plum. What a stroke of luck it is to see a picture of nirvana in this holy compound. When the middle of March came, I could no longer suppress the desire to leave by Yoshino, for in my mind the cherry blossoms were already in full bloom. There was a man who promised to accompany me to Yoshino at the promontory of Arago, and he joined me at Ishi. He was eager to enjoy various views with me and also to help me as a servant while on the road. He changed his name to Mangyuku Murray, which I liked exceedingly for its boyish flavor. He celebrated our start by scribbling on our hats, quote, "Nowhere in this wide universe have we a fixed abode, a party of 2 wanderers." And page 81. That's from the Travel Satchel, Basho's poetry. The Travel Satchel, I believe. Records of a Travel-worn Satchel.